Welcome to Gorilla Sports Off Court. I'm your host for tonight, Liv Moods. This is going to be a post-game live reaction following the Brooklyn Nets at the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets got a win, and this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. So just head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome in, everybody, for another post-game live reaction with Liv Moods. We are back, and the Nuggets got a dub, this time with Nikola Jokic. We've now seen them secure a win at home without Nikola Jokic against the Los Angeles Clippers. They unfortunately could not get a win against the Boston Celtics without Jokic, but Jokic is back after battling some illness, and this Nuggets team had a very, very convincing win tonight against the Brooklyn Nets, a team that they are now 5-0 against over the course of their last 5 head-to-head matchups. And this Nuggets team won very convincingly. I talk all the time about the importance of these convincing wins for this Denver Nuggets team. And I also talk a lot about the importance of the month of January for this Nuggets team to solidify their identity. And we are slowly but surely starting to see that translate. The Nuggets won 124-105 over the Brooklyn Nets, a team that earlier in the season was able to actually take this Nuggets team into overtime. The Brooklyn Nets have quite a few talented players, especially from the three-point line, and we know perimeter defense was something that this Nuggets team struggled with against them the first time this season. We have seen much improvement by this Denver Nuggets defense, and that is something I am feeling very, very thankful for right now. I have not worried about this Nuggets offense very, very much. Because it works, right? I mean, going into halftime, I believe they only had three-pointers, and they were still up at halftime. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets had shot a whole lot better from the three-point line at that point in time. And then in that third quarter is the sweet spot for this Denver Nuggets team. I don't know what kind of talks that Coach Malone is having with them at halftime, but whatever he's saying to them, it is working because the Nuggets find their groove in that third quarter. And that's what we saw tonight. They outscored the Nets in the third quarter. They started to heat up from the three-point line. It was a really fun quarter to watch this team just feed off of each other. I want to see the same level of intensity and commitment and hustle and effort from this Nuggets team, even with Nikola Jokic back. And that is what we're seeing. There's a few different players that I can talk about in such a positive way tonight. You guys know how I feel about Peyton Watson. You guys certainly know how I feel about Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook, who both had triple doubles tonight. I'll read you their stat lines really quick. If you did not know, now you do. Nikola Jokic, after battling illness for the last few games, 35, 12, and 15 tonight. He was 1 of 1 from the three-point line. We know Nikola Jokic is good for threes here and there, and they usually are pretty timely, and they usually make a huge impact. But he doesn't always need to be a three-point shooter. The beauty of it is he can be, and that's a really great feeling to have as a Nuggets fan. And then you've got Russell Westbrook getting starting minutes. He played 36 minutes in this game, 25, 11, 10. I'm actually really starting to get pissed off at the fact that every time I don't bet Russell Westbrook to have a triple-double, he has one. I think the smart play moving forward is just to sprinkle on it every game. I'm not encouraging that type of betting behavior, but I am telling you it's probably what I will be doing because Russell Westbrook is good for it at any given moment. He really, really is. He is capable of triple doubles every single night. The beauty of him not getting them, I guess, is that he doesn't always need to. When you've got a guy like Jamal Murray that facilitates as well as he does, you really don't need Russell Westbrook to be getting double-digit assists, right? Between him and Jamal, they can kind of share the love a little bit. We have seen Russell Westbrook kind of alleviate some of the pressure on Jamal's shoulders, in my opinion, in terms of facilitating this offense. He's creating open looks for Jamal, and Jamal's able to find his offensive groove and rhythm. if we're being fully transparent, I'm not loving the fact that while Jamal Murray is finding some of that rhythm and some of that momentum, he leaves the game with an injury. If you don't know, he left the game with some knee soreness. We know his knees have been a problem for him in the past. I would so much rather him play it safe than be sorry later. While we've got this version of Jamal that's showing this energy and this hustle, I want to keep him healthy, right? So if he's got to take a second and go out, he only played 16 minutes in this game, but in those 16 minutes, he did have 7 points, 3 assists. So we are finding a version of Jamal that I think is maybe not the standard in which we thought he would meet. It's maybe not an all-star season for Jamal Murray, but what it is it's a team player season for Jamal Murray. And I am all about that because I think when you've got a Russell Westbrook on a team, you have to be very strategic about how you use him. And I do think in so many ways, there is that, hey, did Russell Westbrook threaten Jamal Murray's job? I actually think he did, but not in the ways that you may think that I think he did. I think he threatened Jamal Murray's job in the sense of facilitating this offense, but I think that's something that Jamal Murray's maybe okay with not prioritizing. Let's let him get hot from the 3 again. Let's let him get those beautiful jumpers and those clutch buzzer beater shots back. We don't need him facilitating the offense when you have somebody like Russell Westbrook. Somebody like Russell Westbrook who is playing so cohesively with Nikola Jokic. It takes a long time to find a chemistry and a compatibility between two superstar players like Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook. That typically takes time. This is happening very fast, and it is a combination of players and talent and skill that I think will only get better over the course of the season. So to be sitting here in January and be feeling very confident about the in syncness of Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic together is a really good feeling to have because there's still a lot of time for that relationship between the two of them, that chemistry on the floor to just get better and better and better. And you know what gets better and better and better, folks, is my take about Russ. You know what? You can say that I'm not good at what I do. You can say women shouldn't talk sports. Podcast equipment should be more expensive. Well, lucky for you, I get paid to do this. This is my job, and I love what I do. And I am also willing to admit when I'm wrong. But in this case, right now, on this show, on this Friday night, when it pertains to Russell Westbrook, I wasn't wrong at all. Matter of fact, I was super right. Super right. And the trolls are squirming. They hate to see it. They hate to see a woman that was right about a player that they hate for no reason. They hate to see it. Well, sorry. The take is not slowing down anytime soon, okay? The take is not slowing down anytime soon. I am feeling so good about what we're seeing from Russell Westbrook. I don't think a lot of people realized the brains behind the player when it comes to Russell Westbrook. I think people have very quickly realized that Nikola Jokic is a mastermind genius. I don't think people realize that Russell Westbrook also sees the game from a very similar lens and perspective, okay? Russell Westbrook is insanely intelligent. He has a very high basketball IQ, and it shows in these games when he is playing his ass off. His energy is contagious. The fans adore him. And what I'm loving the most about Russell Westbrook is just, you know, Jokic has the ability to turn a game around in the fourth quarter because he's kind of that lead by example type. Even if Russ has turnovers, even if he's breaking 3-point shots, he still has that consistent and contagious, positive and motivating energy about him that is so important for any basketball team, really, especially as this season progresses and these players start to get a little bit more tired and the season starts to feel like a drag and you've got guys that are in a slump and you get in those mental ruts. A guy like Russ is so important to have. So important to have. A triple-double, 2 triple-doubles. I think I saw a statistic on the TV that said Jokic and Russ are the 13th pair to have triple-doubles in the same game. We are watching magic between Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook. But even better than that, I don't freak the F out in non-Jokic minutes like I used to. I used to be paranoid. Like, you cannot sit this man. We need to win this game. Put him back out there. And listen, one thing I can absolutely respect about a Russell Westbrook, did I say Russell Wilson by any chance? Did I say that? I sure hope I didn't. Did I say that? I better not have. Russell Westbrook. I better not disrespect Russell Westbrook that way. Although Russell Wilson is also kind of cooking this season. Maybe not so much right this very second, but like, he had a great year. So I'm not even going to be mad if I made that mistake. Russell Westbrook, to me, is doing such a great job at keeping the energy and the pace consistent throughout the game for this Nuggets team, despite the score, despite the stat line, despite the 3-point percentage. He is unwaveringly Russell Westbrook, and you have to respect and love him for that. I want to give a few other shout outs here. Julian Strawther, who I believe in this game got into a little bit of foul trouble. He ended with 4. So at one point we saw him benched in this game, but that's his game. His game is going to get him into foul trouble, and I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at Julian Strawther in this second unit getting into some foul trouble because he's just balling out. He's hustling. He's playing aggressive. He is not afraid of anybody. He hustles. He's kind of Westbrook-esque a little bit. He's kind of Westbrook-esque a little bit in the sense that he's not afraid to dive. He's not afraid to try to save a ball from going out of bounds. He's not afraid to take a couple hits. He is hustling and giving full effort 100% of the time. And of course, when you see him in foul trouble, you do hate to see that because he had 12 points, 1 rebound. He was 2 of 5 from 3. And to me, Strawther's the type of guy that when he keeps shooting and he's got that rhythm and he's hitting us with this, you want him to keep going on that. But I can understand, you got to bench somebody that's in foul trouble just in case this game goes into overtime. You want a guy like Julian Strawther coming off the bench and lighting it up from the 3-point line, which we know he can do. But his game kind of warrants that potential foul trouble, and I'm okay with it. I think something that this Nuggets team has lacked in years past has been that aggression and that physicality, and he brings that as a young guy, which is a very exciting feeling. Another guy, very physical, 10, 7, and 5, a very complete stat line for Peyton Watson. You guys know how I feel about Peyton Watson. He didn't take any threes in this game, but he also had 2 steals, 2 blocks, unfortunately, 5 turnovers. But that's just the game, right? You're going to have games like that where it just doesn't always work in your favor. But one thing you have to respect about Peyton Watson is his ability to stay locked in, stay focused, and not start feeling sorry for himself when things don't go his way. It's not always going to go your way. And Peyton Watson constantly stays dialed in, knows what the goal is, and is hungry to get these wins. These wins are really starting to matter for this Nuggets team. And I know you may be sitting there thinking, it's just the Nets, who cares? It's going to matter. These games do and will matter. The Nuggets, I believe, right now sitting at the number 4 spot in the Western Conference. And this Western Conference is exceptionally competitive. It's going to matter, especially with this Nuggets team now hitting the road for 2 games on the road against the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks will be without Kyrie Irving, but that is not to assume that it will be easy wins for this Nuggets team. We have seen so much progress with this Nuggets defense, and the true test will be up against Luka and company. Luka's also been a little injured throughout this season, so I'm not sure what version of him we're going to get in that matchup. But what I do know is they've got some shooters, and shooters shoot, okay? They've got some shooters in Dallas, and this will be a really great test as to where this defense stands against some really solid opponents. Like I have mentioned many, many times, 17 games in the month of January, 8 at home, 9 on the road, and almost all of the opponents in the month of January are above 500. It matters. These games will matter. And so not sure what version of Luka we're getting. I know Kyrie's going to be out for a few weeks. Luka is out until February. Okay. This is a great opportunity for this Nuggets team to stay on this winning streak and really solidify some good wins, especially against Western Conference opponents. Now, This is just the nature of the NBA. It's a stars-driven league. You're going to have players that are injured, out, whatever. I'm feeling very good about the potential of this Nuggets team going on a pretty good win streak here, getting some easy wins, winning the winnable games, continuing to build on the momentum that they've got, and continuing to solidify their identity here. I think it's going to be a really great thing. Again, saying some prayers, sending some well wishes to Jamal Murray. You really hate to see him start to have some, physical. We know Jamal Murray's injury prone, and it would be silly of me to think that he's going to have a fully healthy season because I don't know if we've ever seen that from Jamal Murray. He does have an injury. He's an injury prone guy, unfortunately. That being said, I'm hoping that this little break in his injury does not cut that momentum that we've seen from him, because I've really appreciated what we've seen from Jamal Murray as of late. I've got a lot of comments telling me Luka is out. Thank you guys for letting me know that. I have not really been paying attention to anything but the Denver Nuggets. My brain and my heart can only handle so much. And the Nuggets are plenty. The Broncos are plenty for me. So I'm not spending too much time worried about the other teams until the Nuggets face them. And the Nuggets are about to face them. The Dallas Mavericks have a lot of talent. They were the Western Conference champions last season. They went all the way to the finals. And in my opinion, this is the NBA. It's a star-driven league. And without Luka and Kyrie, this Mavericks team still has great players, high-caliber shooters. So it's going to be important for this Nuggets team to continue to solidify their defensive identity, because that is where in the last few games I feel like I've seen the most progress. And it's a really great thing, all things considered, where their defense started this season. It is slowly getting better, and I am feeling really good about that. Okay, let's get some comments up on the screen here. Me says, seeing Russ play is good for Strother. Also, I agree. I think Russ is teaching these young guys a lot about basketball by just playing, by just existing, by just being on the floor. And that is, again, my word for Russell Westbrook right now is contagious in every way. His energy, his game, his hustle, he just has a contagious energy about him, and it is so important. He's a 17-year vet. He's been an MVP. We know Russell Westbrook is a good basketball player. Anyone that thinks differently is a moron. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's just the facts of the matter. So it is really important for these young guys, especially our second unit. Forget Russ running our second unit at this point. Him being a starter to me is chef's kiss, needs to stay that way. But just being on the team with Russell Westbrook, I think, can teach you a lot about basketball. So it is so good for these young guys, CB, Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, to cling to Russell Westbrook's game, energy, drive, competitive nature, and learn a thing or two. And I think, again, his contagious energy about him is going to be so huge for this Nuggets team. He is getting better at passing and playmaking a little too. I agree. Again, I just think having Russell Westbrook, I still do not understand people's logic in not thinking this was going to better the Denver Nuggets. They really, really thought that Russell Westbrook was going to potentially be a bad thing. It doesn't make sense to me. It probably never will. I will tell you, one of the largest comments I got when I initially was showing so much excitement and enthusiasm about Russell Westbrook being a Denver Nugget was, when I made the comment that I was excited, I had mentioned that Russell Westbrook has not yet played with Nikola Jokic, and I do think that will make a difference. Was I wrong? I wasn't. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. And while LeBron James, you could make a very serious case for him also still at the age of 40 being one of the best players in the world, and he is the respective GOAT, and he's done a lot of phenomenal things. He's virtually untouchable in so many ways in terms of his GOAT status because of his accomplishments. But in order to elevate players around you, being a good player doesn't just mean that you elevate players around you. There is a certain strategy behind Nikola Jokic's game where what makes him so lethal, what makes him so dangerous is not just the fact that he's good. It's the fact that there's a plus 20 something plus minus for Nikola Jokic when he's on the floor. It's the fact that when he's on the floor, the team goes from being the best in the league to the worst in the league when he's not out there. That has nothing to do with just Jokic. Jokic has tripled up. There are games that the Nuggets lose where Jokic has 46 points scored. It's not just about Jokic. It's about the fact that he makes players around him better. Why? Because he can see the game differently than anybody else in the league. He's a genius mastermind when it comes to basketball, maybe the highest basketball IQ we've ever seen. And he makes the game easier for his teammates because he can read the game differently. He understands the game differently. He knows the opposing team's plays before they do. He makes his teammates' lives easier. So for anybody that wanted to give me a hard time about if LeBron couldn't elevate Westbrook, what makes you think Jokic can? Those are two completely different players, respective GOATs in their own right. But the IQ of Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, is higher than LeBron James. LeBron James's athleticism is higher than Nikola Jokic. But I would argue in terms of elevating the guys around you, not just your stat line. We know Jokic can get a triple-double with his eyes flipping closed. That's not what I'm worried about. His IQ allows him to read the game differently than any other player in the league, which makes him impossible to guard, impossible to understand. And also, he is in elevating his teammates, he's making the game simpler for them. And Russell Westbrook, in so many ways, plays very similar to Nikola Jokic, and he is now helping Nikola Jokic play an easier game of basketball. Jokic has help that is now on his level mentally. You've got an Aaron Gordon, you've got a Jamal Murray, you've got a KCP, you've got a Jamal Murray. Jokic has played with a lot of skilled basketball players, but it's that mental IQ. It's that high level intelligence when it comes to the game. Pure basketball. Jokic sees it on a different level. And Russell Westbrook sees it also a little bit on that level. And so you've got a Westbrook that's now helping Jokic, and you've got Jokic that's helping everybody else. It is a picture perfect. The math is mathing. 2 + 2 = 4. This is beautiful. And anybody that questioned whether or not this was going to be a good idea, I don't know. I didn't see what you saw. I really, really did not. Have a good night, Gary. Thank you for being here. You're always here, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a few other comments. Talk to him, Liv. You know I will. Always. I have a really hard time shutting my mouth, actually. I will never forget when somebody came on this live, and they're like, Liv, it was a post-game live reaction show, and I do these typically by myself. And somebody commented and was like, you make some really great points, but you talk a lot. I was like, I mean, I'm alone for an hour. I kind of have to talk a lot. And if that doesn't sit well with you, I'm not sure you should be in this live stream. So I do talk a lot, but hopefully I'm making sense in what I'm saying. I think LeBron James and Nikola Jokic you just can't compare the two. So any person that wanted to say to me, if LeBron can't elevate Westbrook, Jokic certainly can't, that was wrong. You were wrong. And I'm sure you're now seeing that and feeling like, oh, yeah, okay, this looks different. This is a version of Westbrook that I think a lot of people have been missing. A lot of true Westbrook fans have been waiting for him to be utilized and used in this way. And he's being utilized and used in the right way. And it is absolutely not only benefiting the Nuggets, but it's benefiting Russell Westbrook. Michael says, you make hella sense, Liv. Thank you. I'd like to think so. Honestly, there are times I don't make sense. And typically that's just when, I'm tired or whatever. I like to make sense. I like to be logical. First of all, I have a lot of common sense. That's a really good place to start. And my common sense told me Westbrook is not washed. I don't know where that came from. Trust me, I watched Russell Westbrook over the last few seasons. I bet on Russell Westbrook quite a bit, and I lost money because I was expecting something that I didn't get. But when you really watched Russell Westbrook and the teams that he was on, what you found out very quickly was that it was more The fact that the teams didn't know how to properly use him and he was just a household name that everybody loves. So let's plug him into this system and it should work perfectly. That's really not how it works. Have we learned nothing? Clippers. Have we learned nothing? Phoenix Suns. Have we learned nothing? 76ers. I mean, this whole like homie hopping, really, that's what it comes down to. This whole homie hopping thing doesn't really always translate to wins or a championship in the NBA. It's a star-driven league, but you also have to have stars that are compatible with one another. When the Phoenix Suns made that trade for Bradley Beal, and everyone, I'm talking everyone in my mentions was like, oh, I bet you're scared now. I'm not. I'm not scared. Halloween Town High on Disney Channel was scarier to me than the Phoenix Suns when they got Bradley Beal. That did not fix your problem. Are you joking? Your problem was defense and depth. I love Bradley Beal, but he's not fixing those issues. Okay? That was a failed experiment. Clippers, you know a thing or two about failed experiments. So, you know, I just whatever. I don't understand it. I really don't. But what I do understand is the fact that Russell Westbrook has been nothing but phenomenal for this Denver Nuggets team. And I think, again, it speaks to how important it is when you get a superstar, when you get a household name, when you get a big name player on your team, figure out how to use them. James Harden can't fix every team he's on. Sorry. Paul George has to play first, and then maybe he can fix some of the teams he's on. We've seen this story before, y'all, where getting to different teams, and one of the things you have to respect so much about this Denver Nuggets team and the championship that they won in 2023 was their willingness. That's a word, right? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Willingness to stay the course, keep their heads down, stay focused, not go out there looking for superstars to save the day. No. MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, stay the course. Stay the flippin' course. And it worked for them. And that's why they were so dangerous in the 2023 championship that they won. And of course, they had the championship hangover. It happens, okay? That is normal. But that is why, truly, I'm not kidding. I'm going to start getting angry. I'm not kidding when I say this. Liv, you have a Nuggets banner hanging on your wall. That's why you're saying this. Oh, shush up. That is not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because it's the truth. Here's the truth. This Nuggets team is a contender. You don't want to hear it, though. You don't want to hear it. Why? Because to you, this roster is not household names. Get with the program. We talked about it on the Broncos show today. It doesn't take a household name to make a play. Is this not the highest level of basketball we're talking about here? There's a lot of things that have to go right to win a championship. It's coaching. It's healthy bodies. It is superstars. Of course, we've got the best player in the world on our team. Let me not forget that Nikola Jokic exists. Of course, we do have a superstar, but he built his superstardom in Denver. This was the result of, one, him just being a freak of nature, talent, and two, staying the course and being patient with the process. I didn't like losing KCP. I certainly didn't like losing Bruce Brown either. Not fun. Did the Nuggets have a bad year last year? Yeah, they did. I didn't love it. I was actually really upset. I did not like that very much. Stay the course. Did the Nuggets start their season slow? Yeah, I wasn't happy. Ask anybody in my life. The group chats amongst my friends, I had some choice words there as a Nuggets fan. not as a Nuggets reporter, as a Nuggets fan. I was feeling some type of way. I think most Nuggets fans were, but stay the course, which is why I have to giggle, chuckle, laugh, hee hee, ha ha, nanny nanny, poo poo to the people that get in my notifications 5, 10, 15 games into the season to chirp the fact that the Lakers are seated above the Nuggets. Enjoy that while you can, please. It's a long effing year. It's a long effing year. And I would much rather have my team find their rhythm and their momentum at the right time. And we're starting to see that. If I'm not mistaken, we have head coach Malone talking post-game presser about this game, this matchup, this win. So we are going to run that clip. Let's check out what Coach Malone has to say about that big dub tonight versus the Brooklyn Nets.
Coach, we saw the status change for Aaron Gordon. How is
the status change?
Yeah, how is he doing in his recovery?
He's out, so that's the status. But he's getting better. He's getting closer. But he's just not ready to go out there and play. Just a live game just yet, unfortunately. But hopefully, inching closer and closer day by day.
And Nikola, as a follow-up, just how's he doing?
He's doing all right. He's feeling better. Still questionable for tonight. The last couple of days, obviously, was in really rough shape, but he's definitely trending in the right direction. So just going to see how he feels, how his body reacts to moving around a little bit, and then we'll make a judgment call at that point in time.
What's he had? Just a flu game situation? What's he?
No, I think he hasn't tested positive for anything. He's just sick.
What's the biggest concern when it comes to Brooklyn tonight?
As I told our players, we went through their personnel, and I said I bet a lot of money that most of you guys never heard of some of these players or have any idea where they played. And I've said this many, many times in my 10 years here. This game is scarier than playing Boston, than playing Cleveland. And I mean that. And the reason why is because they have players that are getting a chance to play. And when you're a player that has not been in the NBA and you're fighting for everything you get, you go out there and you attack and take advantage of every minute and every opportunity. And if we think that we can just show up tonight and beat Brooklyn because a lot of their marquee names are out, then we'll lose. And we've seen it before. And I just hope that we have the maturity to go out there and handle our business. And even if we play great, and this is the NBA, anything can happen, but I just want to make sure that we give them the respect that they deserve. On top of that, the things that jump out to me is lately they've been scoring a lot of points off turnovers, a lot of points in transition. They have a lot of players, literally 1 through 5, that will rebound and push the ball in transition, that will attack the basket. They get to the free throw line a ton. Last 5, they're top 10 in free throw makes and attempts. And we're coming off of a game, Katie, where we gave up a season high 40 free throw attempts to the Clippers. And we're 30th in the league. For those that don't know, there's only 30 teams in the league, so I just want to clarify that. We're dead last in fouling jump shooters. So we got to defend without fouling. And the last thing I would say is the rebounding. I mean, I think against Detroit, they had 20 second chance points, and against Indiana, they had 20 offensive rebounds for 33 points. And that's not just Day'Ron Sharpe off the bench. That's all their bigs, all their smalls. They all crash, and they're playing extremely hard. And we don't have to match that. We have to exceed that.
When they don't have they've obviously lost D'Angelo Russell for tonight specifically, when they're operating without a primary ball handler other than Simmons, how important is it to try to turn them over as much as possible in a situation like this?
Yeah, I mean, you want to, I think it's always like staying true to your identity. And I think the more aggressive we are early, hopefully allows us to get out and run. If we can force turnovers, as you said, Ryan, to get out and run and score off those mistakes, not playing a walk-up half-court game. And hope is a dangerous thing. And my hope is that we can find a way that we get off to a great start. Our bench comes in the game, continues to play at a high level. And, in that second half, this is the beginning of, I think, a long road trip for them. But, yeah, if we can score off our defense, that's always a benefit.
Okay, so that was Malone's pregame, and we do have his postgame as well. And I wanted to debrief on that because there were some things that Coach Malone talked about that he wanted to see this Nuggets team do in this game, rebounding, creating turnovers. In this game for the Brooklyn Nets, turnovers-wise, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 turnovers for this Brooklyn Nets team. Rebounding wise, I felt like the Nuggets did a pretty decent job. You have 11 from Russell Westbrook. You've got 7 from Watson, 1 from Strother, 1 from Pickett, 4 from Jordan. We know DJ, he's always staying warm. One thing I'm going to let you guys know about, if you go to a Denver Nuggets game in Ball Arena, please pay close attention to the way in which DeAndre Jordan constantly stays ready and warmed up. This man is running suicides. He has a resistance band on his legs at all times. It doesn't matter if it's a close game and he knows he's probably not getting minutes. He is ready. He stays ready. Rebounding wise, I was pretty pleased tonight. Michael Porter Jr., 6, CB, 7, 0 for Jamal. We know he went out early with some knee soreness. So overall, I think the things that Coach Malone wanted to see, a quicker start by this Nuggets team. They went into halftime leading, and we've seen them many times this season not leading at halftime. So that has been something that I've wanted to see improvements on. I think I give a lot of credit to Russell Westbrook for the way in which their pace has increased so much in that first half. And then they stay the course. They continue to accelerate even more. They level up in that third quarter. And then, of course, you do start to see some of the exhaustion weigh in. I think at one point, the deficit for the Nets got as little as 5 points in the fourth quarter when the Nuggets were up by damn near 20 at one point in the game. So we do see them start to take their foot off the gas a little bit. This is something that is pretty common for the Denver Nuggets. But I think the things that we heard Coach Malone talk about pregame, we did see them translate in the game against this Nets team. Coach Malone made it very, very clear that he did not want this Nuggets team to let their guard down. He said this Nets team is just as dangerous as a Celtics team. And he's right. And these games do matter. So it's important for this Nuggets team to stay the course no matter who they're playing. But let's now hear, I believe we have his post game ready as well. And then we should be also hearing from some players. I think Russell Westbrook, because he had his triple-double tonight, we'll hear from him as well. But let's check out what Coach Malone had to say now. We heard what he had to say pregame. Now let's hear what he has to say post-game following the Nuggets, in my opinion, doing what he wanted them to do in this game. Let's check it out.
You guys went through segments of playing well, playing at the level I think you want them to defensively, and then segments of not playing so well. You finished on a really high note. Is that the main takeaway from a game like this, or is it the low notes?
The main takeaway is that we won. I mean, that's always the most important thing. And obviously that first quarter, I think they shot 61%. Quarters 2, 3, and 4 combined, they shot 35%. So I thought our defense was much better after that first quarter. And the big message at the half was, we fouled way too much. They were at the line a ton, 17 free throw attempts in the half. Second half, only 2 free throw attempts, so we showed improvement there. And the second half, we only had 6 turnovers. We're in that, I think, first quarter was 8 turnovers. So I thought we got better as the night went along, and then they cut it to 6. We made a couple of subs, and we closed the game 21-8. So, yes, there'll be a lot of things, I'm sure, Ryan, that we can clean up, watch the film, get better at, continue to harp on. But Nikola's first game back, he was outstanding. Not surprising there, and I thought Russ, what he did tonight, was incredible. Is that two triple doubles again?
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. Watching history, folks. You're watching history. It's a history channel. And then I thought Peyton. Obviously when Jamal went out, Jalen Pickett gave us some good minutes. There are a lot of guys out there tonight, but these games are nerve-wracking. But our guys, after that first quarter, I thought settled in and played the right way.
You mentioned Peyton Watson, who had 5 assists in the first half, which I think ties his career high. Looking to make those plays when he gets into the paint. I assume that's a welcome evolution from him for you guys.
Good word usage.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried.
I think it was an outstanding evolution by Sir Peyton. You know what he did a great job of? They were fronting Nikola in the post, and twice he flashed, caught the ball, high-low pass. They backed up, knocked it down. So I thought he had a complete game tonight. He was a defensive player of the game. I thought he had 2 blocks, 2 steals, 7 boards, a bunch of deflections. But he had a really good floor game. And to your point, the playmaking is one of the areas that really stood out for him. So 10, 7, and 5 with 2 and 2. That's a great night for Peyton.
To the best of your knowledge, how precautionary was Jamal's absence in the second half?
Yeah, it was just acting up. Didn't feel right. Didn't feel great. And I think most importantly, it's one thing, hey, to go out there and play, but it's also you got to ask yourself, I'm playing, but am I helping my team? And I think Jamal felt, because it was his decision, he goes, I just don't feel right now. And that's going to happen with that knee. He's going to act up once in a while. So hopefully this is not anything, to borrow Steve Short's favorite word, sinister. And we can get him back for Dallas. So it was just to let that knee calm down and try to get him some rest.
You already touched on the historic nature of another game with two guys with triple doubles. So I'll ask it this way: just how easy does it make your job when you've got two guys that can put up those kinds of numbers that consistently?
I mean, do I look like I'm having a really easy time on the sideline?
Not quite.
No, exactly right. There's nothing easy in this business. You got to work and earn everything. But there were some moments tonight, watching Nikola, watching Russell, and even late, that 21-8 run that we had, some of the passes that Russ made. It was good to see CB get going in that fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, you have two of the greatest triple-double players in the history of the game who impact the game across the board. And that's what you love: scoring, rebounding, playmaking. And to have two out there at the same time, it is a blessing, and I don't take it for granted.
Has it surprised you how fast the Westbrook-Joker chemistry has seemingly meshed? It seems like they played together for years.
It doesn't surprise me because I think Russ is a savvy veteran, and he knows he's out there, and he's in his 17th year. He knows that, hey, this is not about Russell Westbrook. This is about me helping this team win. He came here for one reason, that's to win. And I know that we're in fourth place, and we're not where we want to be and we hope to be. But when you consider certain factors, Aaron Gordon's missed over half of our season. We've played the most back-to-backs. We've had the fewest rest advantage games, all that stuff. Where we are is where we are. But I give Russ credit because he came in here trying to fit in, not trying to stand out. And that says a lot about him, understanding this stage of his career. I'm playing with a great player. I'm going to do everything I can to play through him and play with him. And to your point, Scott, they've had like instant chemistry, which has been great to see.
Triple doubles are sometimes kind of talked about as stat padding or empty stats at times. Russ has won 74% of his games when he's had a triple double. Nicole has won 79% of his regular season games when he's had a triple double. That's significantly higher than the 60% he's won otherwise. Does that kind of say that, look, it is still hard to do this, it is still hard to accomplish it, and that production in those areas helps your team win?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know those stats. Those are great stats, 79 and 70%. And I know a few years ago that seemed to be a criticism of Nikola. Well, yeah, he's getting triple doubles, but he's stat padding. And I think for those of us who've watched him every game for 10 years, know that that's not in his nature. And I've been around guys that will stat pad. Nikola's not the guy. He's playing the game. And for us and how we play, he is the centerpiece of everything we do. And now when you have guys out, then Jamal doesn't play in the second half, we're asking more of Russell Westbrook. I played him all fourth quarter, and the ball's in his hands, and he's making the right play, and those do lead to wins. So that's all that matters, right? It's not a triple-double and you're getting beat by 20. It's, no, I got a triple-double that helped us win. And ultimately, that's the most important analytical stat is not a number, it's a letter, and it's a W. And we were thankful to get one tonight.
This is going to sound a little crazy, but, Russell's playing on the ball a little bit more this year than he has in previous seasons. Do you think that that's helped him with his rhythm and continuity and obviously playing with Nikola as well?
Well, definitely playing with Nikola. I think anytime you play with, in my opinion, the greatest player in the world, who's also the most unselfish and has one of the highest IQs, that's going to help right away. And, I can't speak to any of the other coaches that I've coached Russ in the last few years, but when I met with him this summer, I told him, I said, after 17 years, I'm not asking you to come in here and be something you're not. I just want you to challenge yourself, and I'm going to challenge you to be the best version of Russell Westbrook. And to your point, yeah, you can have him out there on the floor without the ball, but I don't think you're getting the whole package. You see his ability to still get to the cup, finish in transition in a crowd, get to the free throw line, make plays for his teammates, and he's not doing that if he's just spacing in the corner. In the last couple of years, he got to be really good moving without the ball, cutting, rolling, and all that. But, for me, when we got him, I knew that ball would be in his hands quite a bit coming off the bench. But now with injuries, he started, I don't know how many games now, and his win percentage as a starter is through the roof.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, also.
Things you just love to see and hear. One of the biggest takeaways I heard from that, first of all, is how many things I notice as a reporter and a fan that Coach Malone then also says in his post-game presser. It's hard to deny what Russell Westbrook is. And the thing that just stood out to me the most in what he just said is Russell Westbrook came in here trying to fit in, not trying to stand out. And that speaks a lot about the type of player that he is. And even though he came in here trying to fit in and not trying to stand out, 25, 11, and 10 tonight. And that is while playing selfless, egoless basketball. And Nikola Jokic is the same way. He plays selfless, egoless basketball, and that allows the players around both of them to be elevated. So any person that thought, well, if LeBron couldn't do it for Westbrook, Jokic can't do it for Westbrook, you were wrong. They are two different players, and the IQ of Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, surpasses LeBron James. Call it a hot take, clip it, post it on Twitter and flame me. I don't care. That is how I feel, and that is what I feel when I watch these two players together, and I watch Nikola Jokic play basketball as currently the best player in the world. That being said, we do have Russell Westbrook's post-game presser also available to you. One of the most beautiful things about Guerrilla Sports is our ability to get you guys content quickly. We have people that are on site. We have people at home in their studios giving you a post-game live show. High quality, good audio. We've got you covered. We've got Russell Westbrook now speaking in his post-game presser about this game. And if you guys missed his post-game presser last time, check out the social clips that we posted all over our social media. He had a very funny moment. I just don't know how you don't like Russell Westbrook. He's a likable guy. He's a phenomenal basketball player. So let's check out his response to not only getting a triple-double tonight, but because he is a selfless player, more importantly, I think he cares about the win that the Nuggets got, and he was a huge part in that. So let's check out what Russell Westbrook has to say following that very convincing and dominating win by the Denver Nuggets.
And it's like history here. You see an NBA history going on. It's the first time in the history of the league two teammates have had triple doubles, multiple in the same year. I asked you on the court, how are you guys doing this?
Honestly, the grace of God, number one. And number two, man, Nikola's, like I mentioned, man, he's the best player in the world, and he does a hell of a job of making the game easy for everyone. And since I've been here, I've been trying to do the same thing and find ways to better make the game easy for him and other guys. And when we're both doing that, our team is really good.
Go ahead.
You seem to play with so much joy out there. I'm curious if that's been a constant throughout your career. Has it waned at all at different times?
Different points in my career, there may be bad games, good games, but I would never let anyone take the joy away from me from playing basketball. God has blessed me with this gift, and I work my ass off, excuse my language, to get in this position. And, the joy is something I can bring in every arena, every time I step on the floor, and I try to leave it on the floor every night.
Russ, is there anything that you want to share, being from California, about what's going on there right now with the Flyers and everything?
Yeah, man, I talked a little bit about this a couple of days ago. I'm just staying prayerful. My family now, everybody's been evacuated, I think, in my area. So just honestly, just staying prayerful and, keep my eyes on it, making sure that, I'm doing everything I can do, whether it's through foundation, whether it's through helping friends and family, just staying prayerful and finding ways to be impactful.
There was all this conversation going back to the MVP season about the triple doubles and everything like that. I looked it up. You've won 74% of your games when you have a triple double.
Really?
And to me, that's probably indicative of something about how you probably can impact the game in positive ways.
74% you said?
Yeah.
Damn. You 74?
74.
So that's a winning percentage, huh?
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Jokic is 79.
Russ, coach talked about a conversation that he had with you this summer.
Yep.
In terms of, just essentially leaning into what you do well.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about that conversation, and You know, and how's it prevalent to this day?
I remember a lot. You know, we are very honest, and the coach was very honest with me on what he expected of me and what he wanted me to do. And quite frankly, it's to be myself and be Russell Westbrook. And being able to do that allows me to be able to make guys around me better. You know, try to bring this team some leadership, some energy, some toughness. And right now, I think we just getting started. You know, I think how many games are 35, 36 games in. And to me, I think we just getting started on figuring out we get fully healthy, get a chance to kind of get everyone on the floor. I think we've been interesting.
He's shown so much trust in you already. Is that mutual for you, trust with Malone?
Absolutely, man. When, to be honest, man, once, you know, I've run through a wall for everybody in the locker room, and I let on the line because anytime, you know, people feel trustworthy, trusting me and my abilities, and put everything I have on the floor, regardless of what's going on, and I'll do that every night.
Russ, you've guarded an array of great players this year.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to Malone when they're making out the defensive assignments and said, let me take Harden, or let me take
every night? I want the best player on the floor every night, regardless of position. I can guard 1 through 5, and I can guard at a high level. Number stated, however you want to look at it, but defensively, I can guard any position, and every night I want to guard the best player.
So often in games like these where the other team has a bunch of guys out and you see a letdown factor with the team. How does the team stay up in a situation like this?
It's NBA, and one thing about it, regardless of records, either NBA players, and I've learned something a long time ago, you never disrespect the game. And what I mean by that is you go out and compete and play the same way. We playing for bigger goals. We're playing to win a championship, and we got to have championship mentality and championship habits. And I thought we did a good job of that, you know, from the second quarter on to the fourth.
Don't you just want to just send a little bit of love to Russell Westbrook every time you hear him speak in a post-game presser? I don't know how you don't like this man. One word Westbrook used that I'm so glad he did, and I don't know how I didn't think of this word myself here. Habits. We are finally watching this Nuggets team consistently creating good habits. That is so important for this team because we see flashes of greatness from the Denver Nuggets, right? We see it a lot. But then we see them backtrack. And then we see moments where we're a little concerned. And then we see them drop games that they shouldn't drop. And then we see, you know, it's hard to feel confident in this team just yet because it does feel like an emotional roller coaster, not just week to week, but even quarter to quarter. It can feel that way. This Nuggets team is creating good habits. And I think the more we can make these good habits muscle memory, this team is a contender. This team could win it all. I am not kidding. Forget that I'm a Nuggets fan. Forget I'm from Denver. I am being so for real. They are creating good habits. And in the month of January, if they can solidify those good habits enough to make them muscle memory, this Nuggets team is in a phenomenal spot to be a contending team again. And I feel confident about that. And I think while we were very sad to see KCP go and very sad to see Bruce Brown go, that is the nature of this business, right? You're going to lose players you love. You're going to lose, you're not going to be able to keep every player that you love because you may not be able to afford them. And so to me, the addition of Russell Westbrook has been the best thing that could have happened to this Denver Nuggets team. Just like Drew Holiday was last year for the Boston Celtics. Had they not gotten Drew Holiday, I don't think they would have won a championship. Sometimes it just takes that guy that has that hustle, that energy, that X factor, that competitiveness, that championship mindset from game 1 to game 82. And so on and so forth. And Russell Westbrook has that. And because he's so contagious, it is bleeding through to the remainder of this Nuggets team. And I can start to see them lock into that championship mindset. And they're creating good habits. And I absolutely love that. Okay? Anyway, I think that's going to do it for tonight, you guys, on all things Denver Nuggets post-game live reaction here presented by Trusted American Mortgage. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it again. TrustedAmerican.com. If you want to save some money, they're either going to get you into a better interest rate or lower your monthly payments or both. That is their job, is to make your life easier and to help you save some money. Our friends over at Trusted American have got you covered. And this post-game live reaction show following Nets at Nuggets is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. And you guys, I so appreciate you. Cedric, thank you for being here. Truly, we have like in total between X and YouTube, we've got like almost 2,300 people hanging out live. It's late. I know Eastern time. A lot of you guys are in the Eastern time zone. It's 12:30. It's already Saturday there. So I appreciate you more than you know for being here, hanging with me day in, day out, showing your support and love for all things Guerrilla Sports. You guys, make sure you're following Guerrilla Sports on everything. We have high quality content for the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Broncos, the Denver Nuggets. And I'm sure at some point, we're going to expand and be talking about all of your favorite teams. And hopefully we can do post-game lives every single night talking about the NBA and all things NFL, because there's so much to discuss. And I very much value your guys' opinions and your feedback. So thank you guys for being so supportive all the time. We will not have a post-game live show on Sunday following the Mavericks-Nuggets game. The Nuggets will be on the road taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Sounds like there's no Luka. Sounds like there's no Kyrie. That's not the reason we're not doing a post-game live. I don't care who does or doesn't play. When my Denver Nuggets are on, I still want to watch them. I still want to talk about them. So it has nothing to do with that and everything to do with the fact that the Denver Broncos are playing in a playoff game, and that's kind of going to take up my priority on Sunday, which I feel like is very fair. This is the first time in a long time we've seen the Denver Broncos play in the playoffs. Did I say Nuggets? I meant Broncos. The Denver Broncos playing in the playoffs, and they absolutely need my attention that day. That being said, we will see the Nuggets again on the road, I believe on Tuesday night, playing the Mavericks again. And I will make sure you guys are covered on all things post-game live reaction. And we'll have another one of these. So I am going to do my very best throughout this very long season to do as many post-game live reaction shows as possible, if that is what you guys like. If you guys enjoy these, if you enjoy hanging out with me for an hour after these Nuggets games, I'm more than happy to do it. I love doing it. I love hanging out with you guys and talking about this team, because we're starting to see this team really solidify their identity. And I think I like what I'm seeing here. So a lot of exciting things to talk about. Also, all of this without Aaron Gordon. He is starting to slowly progress back into basketball world here. We saw him at some practices this week. I'm not sure that he was full throttle in them. He still is considered out, so we don't need to get super excited just yet. But keep in mind, we still have Aaron Gordon in our weapon arsenal here as Denver Nuggets fans, and that has got to feel very exciting for all of you. Appreciate you guys tons. Again, there's so many of you on here. I'm sorry we're not doing it on Sunday. Just know if I am live talking Broncos, I may just give a score update and give a few little, nuggets of information, no pun intended, throughout the Broncos show, but Broncos will be my priority on Sunday. So make sure you guys are tuning into all things Guerrilla Sports Sunday for the Denver Broncos, who are playing in a playoff game. No matter how it ends, we will still have a post-game live show for that as well. And then I will see you guys Monday for a normally scheduled off-court episode, as well as off-field. And then Tuesday, following the Mavs game, we will go live again with one of these post-game live shows. So love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. This has been another Guerrilla Sports Off Court presented by Trusted American Mortgage. I am your host for tonight, Liv Moods, and go Denver Nuggets. We'll catch you guys very, very soon. And like I said, follow Guerrilla Sports on all things socials for all things sports. We've got great talents covering our Avs, great talents helping me cover the Broncos as well. So we will never let you go empty-handed with content. We'll always keep you updated with high quality stuff. So appreciate you guys long time. Love you long time. And we'll see you very, very soon.